What is fentanyl? Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid that is similar to morphine, but is 50 to 100 times more potent. It is a prescription drug that is also made and used illegally. Like morphine, it is a medicine that is typically used to treat patients with severe pain, especially after surgery. It is also sometimes used to treat patients with chronic pain who are physically tolerant to other opioids. Tolerance occurs when you need a higher and/or more frequent amount of a drug to get the desired effects. I'm going to also note fentanyl is the most common drug they shoot you up with in the hospital. When you come into an ICU, you break a leg, etc., etc. It's a very common drug they use in the hospitals. But anyways, in its prescription form, fentanyl is known by such names as Actique, Duragesic, and Sublimase. Never heard of any of those, but we'll keep on pushing. Synthetic opioids, including fentanyl, are now the most common drugs involved in drug overdose deaths in the United States. In 2017, 59% of opioid-related deaths involved fentanyl compared to 14.3% in 2010. Whew! That's something else, man. Opioids are a class of drug naturally found in the opium poppy plant. Some opioids are made from the plant directly, and others, like fentanyl, are made by scientists in labs using the same chemical structure, semi-synthetic or full synthetic. How do people use fentanyl? When prescribed by a doctor, fentanyl can be given as a shot, a patch that is put on a person's skin, or as lozenges that are sucked like cough drops. There, the kids can use them. The illegally used fentanyl most often associated with recent overdoses is made in labs. This synthetic fentanyl is sold illegally as powder, dropped onto blotter paper, put in eyedroppers and nasal sprays, or made into pills that look like other prescription opioids, aka Perkies, or M-Boxes, or Oxy 30s, whatever the hell you want to call it. Some drug dealers are mixing the Fetty with other drugs such as heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, and MDMA. This is because it takes very little to produce a high with fentanyl, making it a cheaper option. This is especially risky when people taking drugs don't realize that they might contain fentanyl as a cheap but dangerous additive. They may be taking stronger opioids than their bodies are used to and can be more likely to overdose. That's it, folks. It's a dangerous drug, 50 to 100 times stronger than heroin. The withdrawals are 50 to 100 times worse, and the consequences are dire. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Drugs Incorporated, and I'm your host, Luke G. Today's topic is going to be a little different than my storytelling episodes, and we're going to do a little educational series today. Today's topic is going to be fentanyl and the many analogs that accompany it. And boy, are there a lot of them. Originally, I thought there were, hundreds of different fentanyl analogs. And even then, I was amazed when I thought that and figured those facts out. But boy, is there even more than that. And yeah, so I did a little research today, and some of the facts I found were pretty interesting. When I started doing opioids in 2010, I didn't run into this fentanyl stuff. It was black tar heroin and China white. That's all there was. And I'm, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and that's really all we ran into up here. But yeah, so it's kind of weird. I'd say the first time I started really running into fentanyl was when I went to rehab in Florida. Stayed clean for a significant amount of time. I did end up relapsing down there, and people always approach you down there if you look like you do drugs, and they'll say, "Hey, do you party?" You say, "Yeah, I do," or "No, I don't." If you don't, sell you these little capsules. They're $10 to $20 capsules with mysterious fentanyl analog powder. I should just say a mysterious white powder. And it could be a gamut of different fentanyl analogs. U4770, furylfentanyl, methylfentanyl, diacetylfentanyl. The list goes on. I could keep on naming them. But it's scary because all of these fentanyl analogs have different half-lives, different potencies, durations, different onsets of withdrawal, different onsets of intoxicity, different toxicities. Sometimes the interaction with opioid antagonists such as Suboxone is different. I had a friend in Arizona who had to wait 18 days before she could take Suboxone because she was doing itonazine. Sorry, I know I'm not pronouncing that right, but it is an opioid analog, and I guess basically what happens is it gets stuck. It's somewhat fat soluble, so it gets stuck to the fat in your fat. So it basically is incompatible with Suboxone. But anyways, guys, I did a lot of really cool research, and we're gonna dig deep together and figure this out. So we got a lot of fun learning to do today. Hello, this is a list of different fentanyl analogs. Now remember, guys, there's over 1,400 different fentanyl analogs, but these are the more common ones typically found on the streets. 2,5-dimethylfentanyl, 2,2-difluorofentanyl, methylbutyrylfentanyl, 3-methylthiofentanyl, 3-phenylpropanololfentanyl. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Look at these, man. You know, any of these M boxes, fake perks, fake oxys, you know, heroin that you're getting, it's most likely cut with any one of these substances, and they all have different half-lives. They have different potencies. They have different different ways they affect the body, your heart rate, your rate of breathing. There's acetylfentanyl, benzodiazepinylfentanyl, benzoylfentanyl, benzylfentanyl, bihydroxyfentanyl. I mean, it's insane. And the reason why there's so many of these chemicals, you guys, is because they don't have an umbrella that bans all drug analogs like the federal government in the United States of America does. What they do is, in China, when one substance gets banned, they just split an atom and then they create another one. You know, and there's about 100 different carfentanil analogs. Anything that ends with an NIL is a carfentanil analog. There's two different types of carfentanil. There's one with a NYL, and then there's one with an NIL. Those are two different ones as well. I mean, I know it gets extremely confusing, but I'm trying to give you guys, you know, just a little picture. Fentanyl. I was getting that stuff pure from the dark web a while back. Extremely cheap. I overdosed off smoking one hit of it off tinfoil, and I had to contact the vendor to figure out how to purify it correctly, or how to, not purify it, but how to cut it correctly. This stuff is dangerous, you guys. And if you ever order this stuff on the dark web, you really, really, really need to know what you're doing. if you're ordering it in wholesale and purity, you really need to know what you're doing. Some of these I haven't heard. I've literally never heard of most of these. I mean, some of these names are just crazy. Some of them are just letters and numbers. R30490. I've never heard of that before. Fentanyl. See, that's another that's a carfentanil analog. Thiafentanil. It's another carfentanil analog. I mean, this is just unbelievable. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to give you guys a scope of how crazy this epidemic is, how crazy these drugs have gotten, and how dangerous they are. You literally don't know what you're getting. Any one of these, you could be getting a list of any one of these 1,400 different compounds, all right? So please, please don't use. And if you do, be extremely safe. If you get something that is a mysterious white powder that you believe is an opioid, at the very least, put it on some tin foil, take it one hit, and gauge it from there. If that one hit gets you extremely faded, then that stuff is way too pure to smoke or shoot. And you need to regulate and use that with extreme caution. And I may get some hate for that, but that is harm reduction. So, with that, I'm done.